Happy evening, everyone. Wonderful, wonderful to get all of you on this fantastic, fabulous, wonderful evening. I can see some of you on the camera, but most of you are camera switch off mode. I would urge if you can come on camera, we can greet each other with a broad, beaming, radiating smile and exchange our energy. Wonderful, wonderful. Now I can see all of you on cam. Please do come on camera. Let's carry on from here as we are getting on to the Happy Brain Miracle Masterclass. And I'm sure all of us will learn something fabulous so that we can apply a few things to change some issues which is bothering us in our life. So having said that, thank you very much. And I can see a few comments, no sound. Is it, can you just give me a quick response? If my voice coming across, just write AVG, audio visual good. AVG, yeah, thank you. Audio visual coming. Yeah, I feel most of us were getting it. In case you are not getting, please do try at your end. Maybe there is some internet issue, some issues which needs to be fixed. Not able to hear, just need to fix at your end. Yeah. Thank you very much for your quick and fast response. I would love to have all these responses all through this 3 days masterclass, which will give me a lot of energy and a lot of confidence to carry on with you. So having said that, before we move further, if you can write which city you are from and your name, and let's see which place you belong to, wherever you're from. I can see Chennai, Sridharan ji is from Chennai, Divesh ji from Noida, Bangalore. I can see Durgapur, Nilesh ji is from Chennai, Mumbai, Chennai again, Nasik, Pune, Avinash ji is from Pune, Imphal, Tamba ji is from Isaac, Matthew ji from Aleppi, Imphal, I can see, Mumbai, Agartala, almost every part of the country, different part of the country, I can see people are from. Kolkata, I can see Anike ji from Kolkata, Mumbai, Lisi ji is from Mumbai, Harshal ji is from Pune. Wonderful, great to have all your presence. And let me just tell you a few things. I would urge all of you to please be with a notepad and a pen. Sometimes few things may not be appearing on the slide. So it's good to take down certain things. Maybe I'll tell you a name of a book or certain very important, useful thing that may be of help to you. So please do have that notepad and pen with you to take down few things. At the same time, as we are proceeding through, we will keep you on mute mode just to avoid any noise from the background. And we will have a dedicated question answer session on day 3. So any query question that you have now, please put it on the chat board. So I will be answering those questions from the chat box, and preferably let's keep the question confined to the discussion that we're doing so that at the appropriate time we can answer the question. Thank you very much. Again, Kolkata, I can see Devashiji from Dr. Malati is from Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune. Great to have your presence. Let me just bring on my straightway getting on to the session, bringing on the slides, and let's move on. Give me a quick response, whether you can see the slide, see me on one corner of your device, and you can also getting my voice. If all good, just write all good or AG. All 3 are good. Yeah, my voice, my picture, that means my video, and also the slide. All good. Thank you so much. Thank you. Great. Thanks a lot. Again, formally, I welcome you all onto the Happy Brain Miracle Masterclass. And this is based on the science of happiness. I would share what exactly is this and how this is now helping hundreds, thousands, and millions of people on this planet to become happier than what they are at this point in time. And let's move on. Now, before we carry further, why at all this masterclass at this point in time? What is the need of this masterclass? The need is this. Millions of people, as I mentioned, on this planet, they suffer from multiple problems in their mind. You can see all these problems are in the mind. Stress, anxiety, procrastination, irritation, anger, guilt, shame, restlessness, sleeplessness, boredom, lethargy, so many other problems, fear, anger, all these things are in the mind and also affecting the body. When I say in the mind, it's kind of a mind which is affecting the body also. We are also having a lot of challenges in the body because of these things, these conditions. Now, scientifically, what they have figured out, research has found out that these conditions are not necessarily, in fact, mostly, they're not because of the external situations. Primarily, the reason of occurrences of these situations, these conditions inside, is because we have not learned the art of training our mind, training our brain to be happy. So we'll be talking about something, a happy brain and unhappy brain. So if we can train our brain to be happy, we will be happier in spite of challenges will be there anyway. Challenges is there in everybody's life, whether he is the most rich person on this planet or the poorest person on this planet. The challenges are there with everybody. But still, some people, they maneuver, they navigate through that challenge better and are happier because they know how to train their mind, how to take care of this mind. Do you agree with this? If you agree with this concept, that if you know how to manage your mind, then you will be happier in spite of challenges. If you agree, just write A for agree. If you agree with this, that if we learn how we can manage difficulty, challenges, problems, and otherwise, if nothing is there, so many people are unhappy then also. So it is all about the mind. If we learn that, we can be happy. Yeah. So it's about skill to train the brain to be happy. That's what we're going to look at. We'll be learning about that. I was talking about the unhappy brain and the happy brain. Unhappy brain is this, a brain which holds anxiety, worry, sorrow, anger as the default condition. By default, these are the conditions. We are going to look at how we can transform this so that by default, mind will be calm. By default, mind will be organized. By default, it is focused. So the default mode of the mind to be switched from anxiety, worry, fear, anger, restlessness to calm, composed, organized, and blissful state of being, focused state of being. That's what would be our journey as we're moving through. Now, this is what is the unhappy mind and the happy mind. What is actually giving this kind of stuff? Which part or what are those studies which are looking at this? It is the science of happiness. I mentioned the science of happiness is what we are going to look at. Science of happiness has got multiple disciplines involved. Few of the disciplines means areas of studies. Few of the disciplines are positive psychology, one branch of psychology, cognitive neuroscience, again, a part of neuroscience which talks about what is happening in the brain or which part of the brain is activated so that we are experiencing something or expressing something. If I'm happy, what is happening in the brain? If I'm speaking, what is happening in the brain? If I'm talking to someone with a lot of intensity, what is it that is going on inside the brain? Fear, anger, all those things, now we can see and measure using certain gadgets. So they call it cognitive neuroscience, a very emerging field of science, and really giving a lot of insight how we can improve our quality of life. Again, behavioral economics, one branch of economics, which is working on psychology of economics. It's about psychology, how individuals are taking decisions, groups are taking decisions. So those are the aspects which also we are learning and knowing more how we can be happy through our decisions and through the psychology of economics. And most importantly, now this field of science, the science of happiness, is very strongly, sincerely, and intensely into the spiritual practices, spiritual wisdom, and meditative wisdom, especially of the Eastern Hemisphere. So they're taking a lot of input of meditation and trying to see what is happening in the brain. And very interestingly, they're finding meditative practices, some of the practices like prayers, some of the practices like healing are tremendously helping us to become happy, which are there for years and ages. Now we'll also see some of them are contributing significantly for our happiness. Where are these being studied? In all the top universities of the world. Harvard, Princeton, Oxford, Cambridge, Yale, UCLA, you name it. And most of the big universities are now having happiness, science of happiness centers. In India, IIT Kharagpur, the most prestigious, one of the most prestigious institutes in the country, has got the happiness center. And I had the privilege to work, in fact, to learn from there and work with them to spread the science of happiness all over the country. So these are few of the glimpses and few of the pictures that we had when we conducted many workshops at different places. So would you like to hear my story? How I came to this field of the science of happiness? Would you like to, just in 4 or 5 minutes, I would like to share that. How I came here. It was not my original discipline, but I chose to switch from marketing and come over here. Yeah. And it was actually, I would say, kind of an accidental thing and mystical thing. It happened, something happened in 2008, which turned me from the corporate to this direction. I joined corporate in 1993 as a management trainee in a huge company, in a massive public sector organization, Steel Authority. And there I worked for almost 27 years. But when I started the journey in 1993 till 2015, although in career I was growing, I was getting money, I had a family, good family, supportive family, good relationships, everything apparently good, but still, as I mentioned, because I did not know how to train my brain, probably, I was suffering a lot. I was having stress. I was worried, having some sort of internal disturbance, agitation, because I was working in marketing. So much so that at the age of 28, I had to have blood pressure pills. I have to take blood pressure medicine. And it continued for almost close to 20 years. And 2008, that means 15 years into my service, 1993 till 2008, I had all these difficulties. And in 2008, something happened, one transition point, where me and my family, we had been to the Jim Corbett National Park. And that point in time, both my sons were pretty young. Younger son was only 1.5 years old. Elder son was 7 years old. And we reached the resort. In the same evening, the first day evening, around afternoon rather, we went inside the jungle on what they call a nature walk. On foot, in a group, we moved in. My wife and younger son, they could not join because my younger son was very small. But my elder son, who was only about 7 years old, he chose to come with me. And there was something dangerous happened. As we entered into the jungle, because of some miscommunication, we lost track. We could not, we were distanced from the group. And then we lost sense of direction. So both of us, we moved in one direction, but it was farther from the resort. And to our extreme fear, we actually came to a place which was a dry river bed, and there was a tiger nearby. It was only about maybe less than 50 meters distance. The tiger was there. And that time, it was closing in on evening. I mean, almost we lost for some time, so it was close to evening. And that point in time, I almost lost my sense. I was shaking, shivering, trembling, and I thought I'm falling down, feeling nauseated. And I thought it's the end of the game. Everything is going to come to an end now. I'm not going to survive. But at that very moment, something happened, and that saved me. That something is, some thought came to me that no, I have to take charge. I have to take charge of myself. I should not fall down. And then I started taking some deep breath. Mind got little calm. I recollected certain things from the past. Recollected that from the books of Jim Corbett and Kenneth Anderson, I used to read a lot of jungle books earlier in my childhood. I recalled that Jim Corbett would tell that whenever there is a tiger around, you have to be very strongly speaking at a high pitch voice, giving a sense that you are prepared, ready, and you are strong, so that it's less likely to attack you. And I did that. I started speaking at the peak of my voice. And one more, very miraculously, my phone rang. The phone in 2008, in the midst of the forest, although it was not very far from the resort, but definitely in the resort also, we were not getting the signal. But that time my phone rang. I saw some call, I disconnected. I connected to the resort again. Thankfully, we got the connection. I just told them that we are lost and we are on a dry riverbed. SOS, there is danger out there. Please help us. And thankfully, in about 5-7 minutes, this rescue team could reach us, and I could also guide them appropriately to reach us. That was, my mind worked properly so that I could tell them how they should come to us, where we are exactly, what are the location. And that helped me, or helped us, save our life on that day. And as they came, they were very annoyed, saying that how you have come here. Can you see? The tiger was hardly at a distance. It was not very far from where we were stranded. But on that day, when I came back, I had a feeling that life is very, very unpredictable. When we say life is unpredictable, it is one thing. But when we experience life is unpredictable, it is a very different thing. When you actually see what that unpredictability mean to you. And that got inside me. And the second thing is, mind is something amazing. That mind on that day saved life. That's the reason why when I came back from Jim Corbett, that time I was posted in New Delhi. When I came back, I took a decision that I will change my way of life, the way I am carrying through life. I changed many things. I started reading on mind, cognitive neuroscience, and spirituality, almost for 14 years now. And that has changed the course of my life. From marketing, I chose to go to human resource development so that I become a faculty trainer in a management training institute where I was training the top executives of the company. And during that time, I had the opportunity to collaborate with IIT Kharagpur, and that brought me to the science of happiness. And that changed the course, because science of happiness actually gave me this space, what exactly I was wanting. It was bringing science and spirituality together. It was bringing in cognitive neuroscience and positive psychology to the same space. And that's the moment when I chose that I will quit my job, and I started Academy of Unlimited Mind. If you can see the picture at the center here, Dr. Samdu Chetri is the first executive director of the Gross National Happiness Center of Bhutan. And he's a top figure in the science of happiness domain. And I had the privilege to learn from him and also collaborate with him to conduct retreats and workshops. So that was my story. Was it scary and interesting? Just right, scary, interesting, and life-changing story for me. So SIL, if you can write SIL, I could sense that you get it. It was scary, and when I think of that, it was something like a new life for me. Yeah. So now coming to the science of happiness, where, as I said, I collaborated with Dr. Samdu Chetri, and when we had the first workshop, it was Dr. Samdu Chetri who said that you had the potential, so why don't you start something of your own? And these were his words. These are his blessing words. He said, Sandip is a great teacher of happiness and mindfulness. And I witnessed his teaching at Netherheart and not just impressed, but learned from him. It was his humility that he says this, and literally his blessings, his collaboration helped me a lot to learn from him also. So with that, as I said, I started the Academy of Unlimited Mind. And this has a mission of 100,000 people being learning this skill and taking it further in their life. That's what is just 1 second. Is my voice coming across? Can you hear me? There is a little flicker, so I thought I'll just check with you. Just mention yes if you can hear me. Yeah. Okay, great. Thanks. Yeah. So with that, let's get to the course curriculum. Let's look at what we are going to learn in the coming 3 days, starting with today. Day 1, we are going to learn and understand about what is it that is happening in our mind that is causing the misery and pain. So we're looking at first the diagnosis part, understanding what is happening. We'll learn and understand a framework called the HUMANE Trap. So HUMANE Trap framework is what we're going to go through today. Yeah. Why we need this? Why at all we should know about this? Because knowing is half the solution. If we know what is the problem, if we diagnose the problem, we can find out the way how to come out of it. So the diagnosis part is what we will be doing today. We'll understand the 6 different aspects which lead to our misery, agony, pain, and sufferings in life. That's one. Now the second one, day 2, we are going to look at the central, I call it the central aspects that we'll learn. We'll understand the mind, some aspects of the brain, and also the miracle formula. How to use, or what is this miracle formula which can help us overcome the challenges of the human trap. That's what we are going to learn tomorrow. So it's about knowing what are the possible solutions. Today we are going to look at what is the problem. Then we look at what are the possible solutions. And next day, day 3, we are going to look at how to apply. What are those tools? What are those techniques so that we can actually implement the solution in our life? So first day, it is why we are suffering. Second day, what should we do? Third day, how can we do it? Yeah. Why, what, and how. This is the course curriculum. If it is clear to you, just mention crystal clear, CC. Just write crystal clear CC. If you understand what exactly is the course curriculum, that is important. We should know that today we will learn about the why part. And I will urge all of you to please focus on these things. Let me be very clear. I'm going to give you something which will empower you to act. It's not that I will give you some magic. It is science. It will go step by step. It's not that I'll give you a pill, immediately you'll feel good, and after some time, again, everything comes back. What I'm going to share here is scientific. You have to go through step by step. Let us hold all our question, and please be focused and understand these things. And I'm sure we will definitely change something in ourselves, right? So this is the course curriculum. We will be sharing all the bonuses on day 3. So please be there in the live session every day and be part of this journey, which will help you to improve your quality of life. So please be part of it. Day 3, we are also going to share the book Happy Brain Miracle Formula with you. So this will be shared on day 3. Now, having the clarity, I understand all of you have the clarity of the course curriculum. Why, what, and how. So why, what, and how. Today we are going to look at why we are having problem, why we are suffering, why the brain or the mind has got pain, agony, misery, sufferings. We'll see all those elements, and then tomorrow we'll look at what is to be done. Now, this is a question, or rather this is a statement, that under the same setback, same problem, same challenge, same difficulty, 2 individuals, one person is calm, composed, organized, harmonized, blissful, and responding in a very mature way. And after some time, when the challenge is over, he's bouncing back or she is bouncing back. On the contrary, another gentleman or woman under the same situation, same problem, same challenge, completely disturbed, internally torn, unable to respond, unable to handle it in a proper manner, and unable to come back. Does this happen? Do you agree with this? Situation is the same. Two individual, completely two different response. If you agree with this, just write agree. If you agree this with the statement, just write agree. Yeah. Great, great, great. Yeah. So the issue is, we all agree with this, that two different individual, two different response. The same problem, I am suffering, I'm having depression, somebody else is quite okay with it, managing it. Somebody is stressed because of office deadline, but somebody else is managing it pretty well. Although there is the same deadline or even a bigger deadline, he or she is managing well. Now, this is something which happens. But I am putting one more element to this, that not even two different individual, the same person, same individual, under two different mindsets responds differently. The same individual under two different mindsets respond differently. Let me take the example, the same example that I mentioned now. The same Sandip Dash, the same situation where Tiger was there, under one situation, I would have fallen down and it would have been the end of the story. When my mind state changed, everything changed. I could respond appropriately. I could recall things. I could guide people through because my mind started working. If you resonate with this, just write mind matters, MM. Just write mind matters. So we are going to look at that MM, mind matters. And this mind, when we take charge of, when we change this mindset, we will see so many other things can be changed. And our journey is about that mindset, that mind, what is going on inside, how we can change that situation. That's what would be our journey as we are proceeding through this 3 days masterclass. Now, having said that, as I mentioned, today's central theme is the human trap. This is a diagnostic tool. You have to find out what is the problem or what is that which is creating the problem. What is that issue in your mind which is creating the problem, that each one of us by the end of the session today would be able to find out, would be able to identify what is that problem, what is that issue that is creating problem in our life. What is that? And this is based on neuroscience. This is based on scientific research and discoveries. More than 500 different research papers have been studied. And there are many models. And this model is our own model from Academy of Unlimited Mind, and it works like magic. So let us get to the model. Before I take you into this framework, I would urge all of you again to be completely focused for the next around 30 minutes time and understand this framework with all details. As much as you can, please try to grasp it, because this is one thing which is a foundational thing. We need to understand this so that we can work on this tomorrow. Yeah, great. Now I would urge all of you, please do focus here and not type anything right now unless it is not related to, unless it is related to this. Yeah, let us all focus here. As I said, it's scientific. We have to do it ourselves, right? Let's start and you can take notes. This is an acronym. So we'll take one by one. First, we'll take H, then U, and we'll move on through the human acronym. Let us start with H. What is this H? H is the holding on trap. Holding on trap. What does it mean? Our brain has a system which holds on to certain things in a sticky fashion. some memory, some past event, which it remembers and holds on and brings it again, and again, and we suffer from that. A past chunk of memory, something happened, and I bring that to the present, and that runs in my present mind, and I'm suffering because of that. We call it the holding on trap. We can map this onto the various neuro pathways there, but we are going to look at our experiences. What happens when I bring something from the past? You will find mostly it is negative. That's how the brain has been designed. Mostly it is a negative thing. That's why we suffer. I go back, one memory, oh, somebody scolded me. Again, I'll bring back, my boss abused me and harassed me. I lost a promotion. Something happened yesterday, my wife told me like this, my son didn't obey. There was a failure in an examination. All these things, they come again, and I'm suffering in the present moment. This is what we call the holding on trap. We hold on to some memory, and that memory comes and runs in the mind, and we suffer. Definitely that memory has got negative aspects, but that negativity, why should I bring it now? It is coming because our brain is designed like that. Let me give you an example. In one of the workshops, during the tea break, one of the participants, he came to me and he told, Sandip ji, I had a terrible holding on trap. About 20 years ago, see, 20 years ago, this gentleman, Mr. Tripathi, he appeared for the IAS interview, UPSC selection. So he, after the written test, he went into the interview. In the interview board, he did exceedingly well for the first 30 minutes. Towards the end, he had an argument with the interview board chairman, and it went to such extent that it became abusive. Like, he was so furious, he used some words which he should not have used. And the interview board chairman told him, Mr. Tripathi, you may be having all the knowledge and information, but unfortunately, you do not have that knack, that characteristic, and that patience, what an administrator should have. So you are getting rejected. We are rejecting you. That moment, he got a shock. What did I do? And that memory, that moment is still going on in his mind for last 20 years. And in that workshop, he told me, Sandip, I have been suffering from this for 20 years. I said, is it worth it? By that time, he was AVP of a company, pretty senior position. I said, you are still in a big position. He said, still, I feel I did not get what I actually deserved in life. And he was suffering. This is what is a holding on trap. Sometimes it's not that old. Sometimes we have changing. Like, I remember something of the past, like yesterday, last week, last month, and I suffer from that. Do you see this? Some of you, do you suffer? Do you see this, that this is what is happening in your life? Some past event is troubling you a lot. If it is true, just write yes. In fact, it happens with almost everyone. We all have some past memory which troubles. All of us. If you're a human being, we will have human trap. So we will have some past memory which is not very good, which is actually problem creating memory. Yeah. Great. If you understood this concept, what exactly the holding on trap means, just write, holding on trap leads to memory. Leads to hopelessness. HLH. Holding on trap leads to hopelessness. You feel hopeless. You feel so miserable. Yeah. You can write HLH. Yes. We can see a lot of HLH. It actually leads to hopelessness. We feel very frustrated in life because all the time we stay in the past. Yeah. Great. Now, moving on to the next one. So this I understood. I trust all of you have understood that we sometimes remember from the past, and that is a problem. That's what is causing the suffering. What can we do about it? Can somebody write? What can we do about it? Just in one word or 2 words, 3 words max. Can you write? What can we do about it? What is it that we can do so that we can overcome this? Anybody who has one word? Healing the memory, great. Ignore, live in the present, look for the opportunity given, let go, wonderful, move forward, think of the present, ignore the past, try to forget, change the mindset. Yes, but it is difficult. As in case of Tripathi, it was difficult. But with some techniques, with some hacks, we can do it. And in this session itself, in this program itself, I'll give you a very powerful hack, which can be of help to you, how to overcome, but you need to practice it. Repeatedly, regularly, you have to practice for a few days, and you'll find that gives you the ability to let go of this. What is holding on? You are holding on to something sticky. There is a sticky thing, and you have to do something that stickiness of the emotion is released. So that let go aspect we'll discuss as we go to next day and day after tomorrow. Great. Lovely. Many of the solution actually you are writing, but we have to apply them. Engage in other things. Let go, ignore, accept. All these things we have to see that this is coming to our life. That's important. How we can implement in our life. Now moving on to the next trap. So this is past trap. Next we come to something called the uncertainty trap. What is this uncertainty trap? It is kind of opposite, mirror image of the holding on trap. Holding on trap, we are remembering something from the past and bringing it to the present and suffering in that. Holding on trap, we are holding on to that. Now this one is in the present, we create something imaginary or assume something which will be happening, then project it to the future and suffer from that. It's mirror image of holding on trap. That was past, we are bringing to the present. Now we were in the present, we create an unfortunate, hopeless future. That's uncertainty trap. We do not know what's going to happen, but we feel something worse will happen. We start having anxiety, worry, apprehension, fear, all these things that come to our life when we are in uncertainty trap. Many of us, we are prone to this. We feel future is going to be devastating, dangerous for me, very risky. So many people, in fact, last 2-3 years, I have been working with people during the Corona time also. This was a predominant, in fact, almost 50% or more people were having this uncertainty trap. What will happen to my job? What will happen to my salary, my health, my family's security? What will happen to the presentation I'm going to do tomorrow? What will happen to my job interview? What will happen to my examination? All this, what will happen, what will happen, what will happen, and what we are creating, negative will happen, negative will happen, negative will happen. And ultimately, do you know what we are creating? We are creating a negative future. Because by doing that, we are getting into a mode called survival mode. We'll discuss about the survival mode tomorrow. And in the survival mode, what happens? We start becoming so stressed that our immunity comes down. So stressed that our digestion system doesn't work properly. So stressed that our blood pressure goes up, blood sugar goes up. Every problem happens. And not just that, we cannot even think clearly. Our mind gets foggy. We cannot just think clearly. So by doing that, we are ensuring a hopeless future, miserable future. If you can resonate with this, understand this, you can write uncertainty trap leads to a miserable future. ULMF. ULMF means this uncertainty trap, if you are there, it will actually lead to a miserable future. We create a miserable future. We are creating a miserable future by getting into the uncertainty trap, and we can come out of this. For sure, we can come out of this. How we can come out of this? Changing those things. Any one of you, any idea, how can we come out of this? Anybody who has used certain technique, you can mention that here. You can mention that here. How can we do this? What are the things that we can do? Anybody who had tried with this? Lot of anxiety, lot of fear, lot of apprehension, lot of worry. What do? Recognition of the technique, affirmations, law of attraction, imagination of the good way, replace thoughts, deep breath and relax. Wonderful. Please do practice all this, but we are going to take you through a systematic process. You will understand for this what needs to be done. Once we find out what is my predominant trap, I can apply the appropriate technique to overcome that. The miracle techniques, we'll talk about that. Yeah. Deep breathing, think positive probabilities. Not true. Srinivasji is saying, can you elaborate? Faith on God. Yeah, that outcome is not necessarily true. Yes, absolutely. Thought intercept. Great. So all these are very, very effective, but we have to start to work with our mind. That needs certain kind of technique. Tomorrow we'll understand that. What are those techniques to work with our mind? Once we have to understand the nature of our mind for that. Lovely. Now, knowing the uncertainty trap, we go on to the next one. We call it me and my relationship trap. Me and my relationship trap. Relationship is one of the key elements of our misery and of our happiness. We can suffer in relationship, and relationship is the key aspect which makes us happy. This has been identified by the research that if your relationships are very good, you'll be happy. Otherwise, you'll be unhappy. In fact, we suffer in 3 dimensions of our relationships. When we are talking about trap, we look at what are those elements which are letting us suffer in relationships. Tomorrow we'll see how we can come out of those. In relationships, we suffer in 3 dimensions. And these 3 dimensions are: 1, suffering in loving relationships. Yeah, you heard it right. Loving relationships, we suffer. I love my child. I love my parent. I love my spouse, husband or wife. I love my friends. But in that loving, we also have suffering attached. My son is not obeying what I want to, what I tell him or her. My wife is not doing what I expect her to do. There are issues, turbulence, conflict. Even somebody is suffering because of some disease, I'm also suffering in that. In loving relationships, we suffer. In fact, if you see, most of our suffering is in loving relationships. So we suffer in loving relationships. 2, we suffer in hateful relationships. We have relationships with some people which is actually very dreadful. Maybe some boss, some enemy, some neighbor, somebody, even some relatives who are so toxic that we suffer in that. That hatred let us suffer. So we suffer in loving relationships, we suffer in hateful relationships, and we also suffer in lost relationships. What is that? Somebody in my life was there and probably she's or he is not there anymore. Probably he has passed away. Someone, there was a breakup, a lost relationships. Or in today's era, senior citizens, when we are 60, 70, 80, our children, they go abroad, go away, and they do not have much time to spend with us. That again is a lost relationship. Vacuum created. So we suffer in loving relationships, hateful relationships, and lost relationships. We need to acknowledge this, know what is that where I'm suffering, why I'm suffering. This why, the awareness is half the solution. It's not my word. It is word of Dr. Richard Davidson, who is one of the most respected figures in the domain of contemplative neuroscience. He says, if you're aware of your problem, you are actually solving it almost halfway through. Knowing what's the problem. We are now doing that. It's awareness, bringing in what is it that is causing that agony, pain, misery in my mind. So if you understood me and my relationship trap, just write LHL, suffering in loving relationships, hateful relationships, and lost relationships. If you understood this. Yeah, there is a question by Diveshji. What about my relationships with myself? We'll come to that. We'll come to that tomorrow. We'll talk about it. What is that relationship? That's a very fascinating thing that we'll learn tomorrow. How to connect with one aspect of yourself. That's what will be coming. That's a different space altogether. That's a relationship of a different nature. Great. LHL, I feel all of you have understood so far. We are almost halfway through. Is it valuable, making sense? Just write VMS. If you're getting some value out of this, and the value here is our awareness, understanding what are those internal features of the mind of a human being which leads to misery and pain and suffering. We'll first identify those and we'll find only 6 elements. So if it is making sense and it is valuable, just write that VMS. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I sense all of us, we are getting and understanding this so that we can apply tomorrow and day after. Great. Next, moving on to autonomy trap. A stands for autonomy trap. Autonomy means freedom. Yeah, it's another word for freedom. Of course, there may be little semantic difference, meaning difference, but mostly loosely we can say autonomy is freedom. Now here, our life is not free. We are dependent on many things. There is a deadline in the office. There are challenges at home. I have to attend some meeting at the same time I have to complete another task. Multitasking, even if whether I'm in office, whether I'm a businessman, whether I'm a teacher, whether I'm a doctor, lawyer, housewife, or house husband, everywhere you'll find there are challenges and multiple challenges. These modern day complex challenges are actually taking away our freedom. I do not have time for myself. I cannot even go for exercise. I cannot pursue my hobbies. There is a challenge of money. Again, I do not have financial freedom. I cannot buy what I want. So many things which are actually snatching away our freedom. This is the one and the most important element which is leading to stress. You'll find so many of us, we are stressed. I myself have gone through this. In the time when I was saying I was having high blood pressure, I was having high cholesterol, I was very fat. In fact, at that point in time, I was 93 kilograms of weight. My height is about 5.5 feet. That means 5 feet 6 inches. And my weight was 90 plus kilograms. So you can sense that stress can lead to all these problems. And this is because of the modern lifestyle that we're having. Traffic jams, so many problems. So if you are having any of this problem and you are struggling for time, struggling for money, struggling for other things, relationship, somebody wants something else, boss wants something else, these things are taking away our freedom and we are suffering. So you are in autonomy trap if you strive for time. If you're striving for money, you do not have time for yourself. This is autonomy trap, right? Now moving further. Name, fame, status trap. Autonomy trap, could you get it? If you got it, just mention, just write. Autonomy trap is snatching freedom. ASF. It takes away freedom, steals freedom. ASF, if you understood this. It is taking away our freedom, this trap. Yeah? Great. You understood this. Moving on to the next one. It is called name, fame, status, position, identity trap. And sometimes I also call it identity trap. Or ego trap, you can term it. What is this? We all want status in our life. Every one of us. We want to grow in the organization. We want to be respected. We want to be loved. We want people to tell good things about us. So this is what we want. This is natural to all human beings. The moment there is little drop in this, my status comes down. Somebody criticizes. Somebody else gets a promotion. Jealousy. My ambition. All these things are leading to change my internal state of being. There is a strong internal network which is working, and it is very, very higher order trap, and which can lead to disaster. Let me give you an example, extreme sad example. I keep giving this example to people that why this happens. The sad example is, we read on newspapers or we see on television sometimes that somebody exceptional, brilliant child, brilliant student in a top institute, let's say IIT, IIM, AIMS, Indian Institute of Sciences, commits suicide. What is the cause? Why this happens? You'll go there, you'll find so many people are depressed out there. Why? What is the reason for this? If you go back to their history, if you go back to their childhood, their upbringing, you'll find right from the beginning, they are definitely smart, brilliant, having exceptional mind, and everyone around, the parents, teacher, friends, neighbor, everyone would say, look at that brilliant boy or girl, amazing mind, so intelligent, absolutely incredible mind. Now, these are the status. In school, he would be topper, and all those people would be saying, wow, wow, wow. Now, suddenly he or she cracks one of the toughest examinations, gets into a top school or top college, and there suddenly finds everyone is equal, because everyone has come from that route, through that route, and all are equal. Now there is a struggle. Now someday even the teacher says, do you have a brain? Are you a fool? Are you a buffoon? You don't even understand this much. Look what is happening. The identity of being exceptional, of being incredible, amazing, brilliant, intelligent is now coming down. The identity is dying. That brilliant identity is dying, and it triggers internally a sense of death of an identity, which leads to suicidal thoughts, which leads to depression, which leads to many more complications in mind. Unfortunately, nowhere we have learned this. We have not learned how to handle this, how to handle our identity, how to manage our identity, because I always say identity is paramount. Identity is the most important thing. Paramount means most important thing. If you could understand this, if you can handle this one, we handle many other things. If you can handle identity, we can handle many other things. So I always say identity is paramount. If you understood this, just write IIP, identity is paramount. If you got this. Yeah, do meditation to maintain identity. Actually, how we see that identity, that's what we'll also see. This identity is so important. We cannot just let go and allow it to free flow. We have to take charge of this important aspect of ours. Great. Now coming to the last one, we call it equality and unfairness trap. Around us, in our life, so many injustice, unfairness, inequality is being seen. Injustice happened. I struggled the entire year. Somebody else close to the boss got the promotion. I tried all my ways and means, but somebody else got the job because maybe having some connections there. All this happen in life. Inequality, injustice, unfairness, all these thoughts, they come to us and they actually make us feel miserable. Many times, in fact, I see so many people, they suffer. Somebody cheated them. Somebody recently, I was talking to his brother, his own brother ditched him and he lost the money. In fact, he took the entire property. So all these things happen in life. We feel unfair, injustice that is there in my life. I suffer from that. And that leads to, again, misery and agony. I can give you a simple example. In few years ago, I was standing in a queue. Very simple example. Standing in a queue, very slow moving queue. It was not moving at all. In 15 minutes, maybe 2 feet. Suddenly we discovered someone very powerful, maybe having 2 bodyguards, chose not to be in the line. He just bypassed the line, went directly to the ticket counter and got his ticket and got away with it. Inside, we are fuming. I was inside boiling. What nonsense. Why this is happening in this country? How can this be tolerated? Nothing will happen, this, that. And immediately I recalled and realized What am I doing? The person has gone with the ticket, already damage done. I could not protest. Maybe that was prudent at that point in time, too strong to protest. But what am I doing now? I'm cursing myself. I am corroding my internal system. I'm suffering, boiling, and internally restless. No point. And then I used a small story or use a small example. I said, sometime I know somebody in some office, some place, and because of that proximity, I get some advantage. Somebody gave me some, let's say quickly, earlier I get something. That time I never say it is injustice. I always say, oh, I'm so fortunate. My friend was there, so I got it very quickly. But at cost of somebody else, that we do not realize. But anyway, this is a small hack. But at times in life, injustice is so huge and the magnitude is so much, very difficult to digest and handle. But still, it's prudent to apply some techniques and handle it, accept it, let go of that, and move forward in life. This is the human trap. And let me tell you, any problem of mind, you can put either one of the traps and or multiple traps. Multiple means it may be happening that you lost the promotion and your status has also gone down. Injustice led to loss of promotion and status gone down. So both injustice, or that means E trap and status trap. There may be combination of traps also. Yeah. If you understood this so far, just write HUMANE. If you understood the framework, this is important. Today's assignment is we have to find out our own trap. We have to spend some time, reflect, analyze, diagnose our trap. That's the first important task. If you understood, just write HUMANE. HUMANE, the human trap, is what we now understood. And this I'm giving you. You can take a screenshot of this. We'll also share this. What you need to do is, in your notepad, draw out this HUMANE and then give a number in a scale of 1 to 10. In your mind, which one is giving you how much of pain or disturbance, agony, suffering? Just make a list of that. Make a number, make a marking, make a weightage. So 10 in a scale of 1 to 10, each one of them you have to mark. And on the left side, I've just given a basic idea, what exactly does it mean, so that you can recall and do it. And then find out which is your predominant trap, or which are the two predominant traps. At best two. There may be two which are almost like similar, same intensity. So one or two traps you need to find out. That is an important task that you need to do. This is the first task. You have to identify your trap, predominant trap. In this journey, as we are moving through, we will give you some tasks. And these tasks are important because, as I said, it is scientific. It's not going to happen like you will take some pill or somebody will do some mantra and it will go away. It is an empowerment session where you will learn certain things, you will apply it to yourself, and you will overcome. Your commitment is the most important factor here. If you are committed, you will succeed. There is absolutely no doubt on this. If you commit, just write I commit. And if you are committed, I commit, you can write I see or I commit. C for commit. Yeah? I see. You commit to all the tasks and you will commit to yourself that you will apply all the learnings from this 3 days to your life. That commitment will help you overcome the challenges. Because we are giving you techniques you have to apply. And that will take you to your happiest version. Scientifically, step by step, definitely it will help you get to your happiest version if you are committed and working on this. Having said that, as I said, I'll be giving you tasks every day. Today also, we are going to give you 2 tasks. This is one we have given. The second task is this. The second task is you will take a piece of paper. All of us we'll take a piece of paper. Let's take about 2 minutes now and take a piece of paper. Let's all take a piece of paper. Let's all come on camera and take a piece of paper. On that paper, you can tear that the paper which we will have to destroy later on. On that paper, write down your top 3 problems at this moment in time, which you are suffering, maybe today, yesterday, whatever you are suffering now, because of some reason you are disturbed in your mind, something which is causing problem in your mind. Just write that problem. In the bracket, write down the trap from which it is coming. Let's say you are feeling very anxious, anxiety is there. Maybe it is because of the uncertainty trap. So you write, I'm feeling anxious because of so and so things. Maybe I'll have job problem, I have financial problem. You write that, and then in the bracket you can write you. Or you have relationship issues, you write that relationship issue. In the bracket, write M for me and my relationship trap. So you have to write 2 or 3 problems that you're suffering from with a lot of intensity, lot of engagement with it. And after writing that problem, what we are doing here, I call it brain dump. In your mind, it is there. Now you're writing as if you are dumping it onto the paper. You are dumping it onto the paper. Have that feeling. I'm dumping it onto the paper. I'm writing, and my problem is now on the paper, not in the mind. It is on the paper. So you're writing that, and you're objectively seeing that problem. And then you will put that paper inside a bowl, preferably in a glass bowl or a ceramic bowl. Put that inside the bowl, and then bring a matchbox and lit it up. This task you have to do today. Now you'll write it down, then you'll put it inside the bowl and just lit a matchbox and burn that paper. And while that paper is being burnt, you have to sit relaxed, completely relaxed, watching that paper, observing that paper being burned, and you are having an affirmation. Affirmation means internal talk going on in your mind. I have destroyed my sufferings today. Just look at the paper as it is burning, and you are just uttering these words with a lot of intensity, lot of feeling. I have destroyed my sufferings today. You're saying, I've destroyed my sufferings today as the paper is being burnt. And then you also need to take a picture of that flame, and you need to put that flame picture in the WhatsApp group. What's the affirmation? I have destroyed my sufferings today. Yeah, this is what you are going to do. And this steel ball, it will be little risky. Take all safety precaution. It will be very hot, so don't touch it if you're doing in a steel ball. If you're not finding any possibility of burning it, after writing it, you shred it to very small pieces and you put it in water as well. Flowing water, you can put it there. But when we are doing that, just feel that I have destroyed my sufferings today. Best is burn it. Best is burn it. If you cannot, let's say at some place where you cannot use matchbox, there are some kind of prohibition of using flame. So in that place, you can do this. As I said, would you like to get some gift for doing the tasks? If you want to get some gift for doing your tasks, please write G for gift. I would like to give gift to everybody who is completing the task, and it's a wonderful gift. The gift is, I'm going to give you another book. You are going to get second book, but only for those who are completing tasks on every day. We are going to give you 2 tasks every day. If you complete all the tasks, then you will get the gift. If you're completing all the tasks, you're going to get the gift. Yeah, that's what is the gift you'll get. But let me tell you, more than the gift, it is for your benefit. It is for you. I request you, please do the tasks and feel it. Feeling is so important. Please feel when you are doing these tasks. When you are doing the human trap task and when you are doing this burning ball task, please do with feeling. And at the same time, would you like to have the recording of today's session? Would you like to have the recording of today's session? Yes? Okay, sure. Yes. So I'll be sharing the recording of today's session. And there is one more condition. I'll be sharing it as a YouTube link. Please do subscribe to the channel, because you are going to get amazing content from this month onward, and many content are there already. Please go through each one of them. Many contents are there which you can go through, and they are themselves many solutions. There are many meditations which are very specific to help you overcome certain challenges. Please do go through all those recording, all those videos, and this also will be shared on the same channel. Please do subscribe to the channel so that later on also you can follow us and get some incredible insight on mind and healing the mind. So please do that. And having said that, we are now coming to the end of this session. And thank you very much. Just in one word, I would love to hear from you. How was the session? Just write, how did you feel as the content? Great, excellent, good, nice, whatever that comes to your mind. If you got something valuable, also write super valuable. Yeah, just write whatever that has come to your mind in one word. Super valuable, great, inspiring, helpful, super valuable, great, good start, looking forward, great. Yes, we all need to apply, application, commitment, fruitful, helping, peace, super value. Thank you very much. Great. Thank you for your wonderful, wonderful feedback. And before we conclude today's session, for a moment, let's pray for the happiness of the entire humanity, all the creatures on this planet. Let's pray for their happiness. Let's pray for their well-being, and let's pray everyone be happy and evolving through this life, having a great time with their family, and have great journey on this planet. And also let's pray for everyone who are connected on this Zoom meeting. And that prayer itself is happiness. When you pray for others, you feel happy. So with this prayer, with this good wishes to everyone, let's conclude the session today. Looking forward to your active participation in the live session at 7:30 tomorrow. May God bless all of us. Have a wonderful time. Let's all come on camera with a broad, beaming, positive energy. Pray and bless others, heal others. And again, we will catch up tomorrow at 7:30. Thank you very much. May God bless all of us.